What role did Darwin's theory of natural selection play in the history of science? Was it the result of gradual scientific progress, falsifying the older theories of creation and evolution, while proposing a new theory that is simply yet to be falsified? Maybe it was, but perhaps it was something more, a significant break with the past. Does Darwin's theory of natural selection constitute a scientific revolution? To figure that out, we should turn to Thomas Kuhn, a physicist and philosopher of science who is most well known for his theory of scientific revolutions. Kuhn defines science and scientific revolutions like this. A scientific community works under a paradigm, or a general frame and picture of the world. The paradigm provides methods of problem solving, defines which puzzles scientists can and should try to solve, and even what results scientists should expect. This kind of puzzle solving is what Kuhn calls normal science. As science within the paradigm develops, it might run into anomalies. These anomalies are hiccups, bumps in the road, things that don't quite fit within the paradigm. Sometimes these anomalies can be ignored or explained within the paradigm, but sometimes they lead to crises within the scientific community. During a crisis, scientists begin to offer solutions to these anomalies. They question their assumptions, they try and get back to the fundamentals of the science. But scientists will only abandon a paradigm if a new, satisfactory one is offered. Even then, scientists established in the old paradigm are often hesitant, if not hostile, to the up-and-comers trying to redefine their science. The battle between the old and new paradigms is not so much about particular facts or data, but about different metaphysical pictures. The old scientists see a rabbit, and the new ones see a duck. So what about Darwin and natural selection? The normal science of Darwin's day can be roughly summarized as natural history, and encompassed elements from biology, paleontology, geology, and anatomy. Darwin was quite conscious that his theory would be opposed by the defenders of the old paradigm, eminent scientists he called the immutabilists. And these scientists were the top scientists in Darwin's field, not idiots. Darwin also correctly guessed that they would remain stuck in their ideas. Their basic paradigm was not just that species couldn't change, but that species represented immaterial essences or forms, perfectly designed with their proper places in the natural and divine order. To summarize, essentialism and teleology. Well before Darwin's day, anomalies appeared in the old paradigm. Scientists observed extinct organisms and apparent continuities between living and dead organisms. Darwin himself pointed out that this paradigm couldn't explain why separate species on remote islands resembled species on the mainland. Earlier scientists like Lamarck offered evolution to try and answer these anomalies, but his mechanism was simply not sufficient for a new scientific paradigm. This mechanism is what Darwin provided. Evolution by natural selection showed old observations in a new light. Common forms and homologous limbs signaled common ancestry, not a common designer. Extinct animals were ancestors of today's forms, or dead ends on the tree of life, not organisms created only for the purpose of later being destroyed. The fossil record was not mostly complete, as Cuvier and others thought, but profoundly poor, with transitional fossils waiting to be discovered. Darwin offered a new paradigm or picture of life, not as descending perfect from on high, but as diversifying and adapting into forms most beautiful from the mechanical-like laws of variation, competition, and reproduction. Younger scientists took up Darwin's ideas, and by the 1870s the paradigm shifted and changed forever the science of life. Evolution became common sense. New puzzles opened up, from tracing phylogenies to figuring out how inheritance worked. This was the new normal science. There were dead-end puzzles, of course, like scientific racism. Yet from the new synthesis of the 1920s until today, the full impact of Darwin's scientific revolution is still being realized.